Good evening and welcome. It's 8 p.m. on the clock. It's time for the news on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. These are the headlines. Maratha Quota fire singes NCP MLA. NCP MLA's house set on fire in Bid by protesters. The government says it will take up the special committee's report on the quota on Tuesday. Setback for former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. Supreme Court rejects his bail plea, says prima facie conspiracy established. Last day rush to file nominations for the state going to polls on November 7th. The Chief Ministers of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh file their nominations as well. Telangana BRS MP stabbed on the campaign trail. The MP was walking towards passer's home when the attack took place. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan dismisses any larger conspiracy in the serial blast case, says the attack at the Kerala Convention Centre was carried out by a disgruntled member. And big decision by the tribunal. It rules in favour of the Tata Motors in the Singur case, asks Bengal government to pay massive sum of 766 crores plus interest as compensation. Starting with the top story at this moment, in fact, the quota agitation, which is now taking a violent turn in the state of Maharashtra. The Maharashtra quota protest today, in fact, took a violent turn when the protesters set on fire the residence of an NCP MLA. This MLA belongs from the Ajit Pawar faction. The incident took place in the Bid district. Now, the NCP MLA's house was set on fire. Traffic was disrupted in other places in Solapur, Ingoli. In fact, this after it is said that the NCP MLA spoke against the leader of the quota agitation. The NCP and the opposition has hit out at the Shinde government for their failure to maintain law and order.
NCP MLA Prakash Solanke's house in Bid was set ablaze on Monday by angry agitators demanding reservation for Marathas. They also blocked roads and disrupted traffic in Bid, Solapur and Hingoli. Sporadic incidents of arson were also reported in these areas. The once peaceful agitation is now taking a violent turn, and some say it is also losing its focus. And this demand for Maratha reservation is proving to be trial by fire for the Shinde government. While Chief Minister Eknath Shinde hasn't outrightly rejected it, he maintains that it is a delicate matter and he may need more time to resolve it.
अभी जो कुछ घटनाएं हो रही है, इसका भी विचार मराठा समाज के लोगों ने करना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये इसके वजह से आंदोलन को क्या कहते हैं, एक दूसरी दिशा में ये आंदोलन जा रहा है. सरकार अगर कुछ निगेटिव होती तो ऐसा करना हम समझ सकते थे, उचित था, लेकिन सरकार पूरी तरह से गंभीरता से इसमें काम कर रही है.
A hunger strike by Manoj Jarange Patil, a coordinator for the Maratha Morcha, is adding fuel to the fire. Monday marked the 6th day of his agitation and there were reports that Patil's health was deteriorating rapidly. The government has been appealing to him to end his strike, but he is refusing to budge till reservation for Marathas is announced. Meanwhile, the committee under retired Judge Shinde has submitted its report to the Shinde government. The report will be taken up in a cabinet meeting on Tuesday. The committee has examined 1 crore 30 lakh documents submitted by the Maratha community. Of these, only 11,530 people have been found to have proof that they belong to the Kumbi community. This is less than 10% of the Maratha population. The Shinde government is mulling granting reservation to Marathas within the Kumbhi quota. This has angered the OBC community in Maharashtra. The Shinde government plans to base its curative petition before the Supreme Court on the findings and recommendations of this report. Amidst all this, the opposition met the governor to demand a special session be convened to discuss the Maratha reservation issue.
तुरंत ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत है। जो मौजूदा हालात हैं वो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर में थोड़े गंभीर हो चुके हैं। विधायक के घर जलाए जा रहे हैं, गाड़ियाँ तोड़ी जा रही है, लोगों को मना कर दिया है गाँव में आने से। ये बड़ा सीरियस इशू है। इसकी वजह से काफ़ी मुश्किलें पैदा हुई है और जब लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन से भी गंभीर हो सकती है। तो तुरंत राज्यपाल को हमने विनती की कि उसमें इंटरवीन करें और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को भी निर्देश दें कि वो फैसला इसमें तुरंत कानूनी तौर पर करें और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का भी इंटरवेंशन आवश्यक है, ऐसा मुझे लगता है।
मेरी ये अपेक्षा है सरकार से, आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी से कि वो इसके ऊपर चर्चा करे और जल्द से जल्द निर्णय करे।
There seems to be no easy answers to the complex issue of reservation for the Maratha community. The question is, will the Shinde government survive this trial by fire? With Ronak Kude in Mumbai, Osama Shah for NDTV.
Moving now on to a Supreme Court decision which has also set political ripples, and specifically for the Aam Aadmi Party. The Supreme Court, in fact, rejected Manish Sisodia's bail plea in the alleged excise policy case. The top court has said that the conspiracy has been prima facie established by the agencies. Agencies had claimed to have established the money trail. Now, the 338 crore money trail has been established by the agencies, is what the Supreme Court said while rejecting Manish Sisodia's bail plea. This is going to have a huge political impact on the Aam Aadmi Party and also a legal impact, not only on Manish Sisodia, but also his colleagues, those who are still in prison.
Setback for former Delhi Deputy CM and AAP leader Manish Sisodia. Supreme Court rejected Sisodia's bail plea, observing that CBI and ED have established conspiracy and involvement of Manish Sisodia in the Delhi liquor policy case. Both CBI and ED have been involved in the investigations. In its arguments in top court, the CBI and ED said that the profit margin for liquor companies had been enhanced from 5 to 12% in the new liquor policy by Delhi government. The enhanced 7% was received as kickbacks by AAP leaders. Due to this, liquor companies made a profit of 338 crores in 10 months. As per the agencies, liquor companies in turn gave kickbacks to the tune of 100 crores to AAP. Accepting the above submissions of the central agencies, the top court ruled that a conspiracy and involvement of Manish Sisodia is established at this point. As Kejriwal's trusted deputy languishes in jail, the question is whether the probe trail will now lead up to the Delhi CM himself.
जो पॉइंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने खुद उठाया था कि ये पैसा मनीष सिसोदिया के पास पहुंचा या नहीं पहुंचा, क्या उनके पास पहुंचा, क्या उनके किसी परिवार के व्यक्ति के पास पहुंचा, या उनकी किसी परिवार से जुड़ी हुई किसी कंपनी के पास पहुंचा, ये सवाल, इस सवाल का जवाब तो आज भी वही है।
आज माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने मनीष सिसोदिया की बेल रिजेक्ट कर दी है और इस निर्णय के बाद यह स्पष्ट हो गया है कि ये मनीष सिसोदिया सहित आम आदमी पार्टी का शीर्ष गैंग ये पूरी तरह से भ्रष्टाचार में लिप्त है और इनका मनी ट्रेल एस्टेब्लिश हो चुका है।
However, while dismissing the bail plea, the top court observed that detention or jail before being pronounced guilty of an offence should not become punishment without trial.
While it's a setback for Manish Sisodia and Aam Aadmi Party as Supreme Court has refused to grant him bail, the ruling party in Delhi and Punjab is also staring at a possibility of being arraigned as an accused in the Delhi liquor policy case. If named as an accused, Aam Aadmi Party will become the first political party in India to be named as an accused in a criminal case. With camera person Pawan Kumar, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
Meanwhile, today was the last day of nominations for the states and the regions going to the elections on November 7. Remember, the election process for the 5 very, very important upcoming states, in fact, in the states which are going to go to polls, will start kicking from November 7th when Chhattisgarh first phase and Mizoram will cast their vote. Today, Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel filed his nomination. Chhattisgarh, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, also filed his nomination from the Budni seat. Now, Mr. Chauhan, before filing his nomination, did the Narmada Puja with his family. Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh was also in his constituency, Patan, to file the nomination for the upcoming elections. So all hectic politicking going on, and the last day rush was apparent, at least with these visuals of former minister and Congress leader Jitu Patwari. Jitendra Patwari was seen running along with his party workers to file his nomination from his constituency. He tweeted this video, and it's quite funny that Mr. Patwari, who has turned himself into a youth icon, sees himself as a young neta, ran to the DM's office to file the nomination. The last minute rush catching up there. Meanwhile, there has been a shocker from poll-bound Telangana, where a BRS leader and member of parliament, Maratha constituency MP, Kota Prabhakar Reddy, was stabbed when he was campaigning for elections. He was at a rally in Sumarapalli village in Telangana when a man walked up to him, apparently to shake his hand, and then suddenly pulled out a knife and stabbed him in his stomach. The assailant was immediately nabbed and beaten up by the BRS workers. Till the last information, the MP has been shifted to Hyderabad and is out of danger.
So the BRS candidate and Medak MP Kota Prabhakar Reddy was campaigning in Surampet village when this attack happened. What we are being told is that the assailant had come forward and it appeared as though he wanted to shake hands with the candidate and suddenly he took out a knife and stabbed him in the stomach. Immediately the BRS activists who were around caught hold of this assailant and in fact beat him up then and there, and Kota Prabhakar Reddy, he suffered an injury in his stomach, after which he was shifted to the Gajwel Government Hospital there, and subsequently after first aid in the hospital he has been shifted to corporate hospital Yashoda Hospital in Hyderabad, where doctors say that his condition is stable and there is no threat to his life as of now. The Reddy, I must point out, was in fact became an MP in a seat vacated by the Chief Minister in 2014 when he had won both as Medak MP and also as Gajwel MLA, and he had given up his Lok Sabha seat, and subsequently the by-election is where Kota Prabhakar Reddy was elected as the MP, and this time round, because the candidate for the BRS from there, Soli Ramlinga Reddy, had in fact passed away suddenly in 2020, after which a bypoll had happened for Dubak in which the BJP candidate Raghunandan had won from there, and now the MP therefore being introduced as the BRS candidate, assembly candidate from there, and we are expecting that the political fight there could be quite intense. But what was the motivation for the attack? Not yet clear. The assailant has been identified as Raju, but whether there was anything personal, any personal grudge because of which he did it, was he doing it on behalf of someone else, was there politics in the attack, all that not yet clear. The police still investigating.
Let's shift our focus now to Kerala, where the serial blast yesterday shook the state. Now, what we are trying to understand is what the probe has revealed so far. Is there a larger connection? Remember, 3 people, including a 12-year-old girl and 2 other women, have died in these serial blasts. 3 blasts that took place within minutes of each other. They also left more than 50 people injured. This has also now got the political parties at loggerheads, but let's try and understand at what's happening as far as this case is concerned.
12-year-old Libina, who was admitted at Ernakulam Government Medical College in Kerala at 9:51 a.m. on Sunday, lost her life post-midnight. She'd suffered 95% burns and is the 3rd casualty after the blast at the convention center, which hosted a prayer meet of the fringe Christian sect Jehovah's Witnesses. 50 others injured in the triple blast are being treated for burn wounds at the hospital.
Yesterday we had around about 35 people getting admitted with first degree, second degree burns. Most of them had burn marks in their foot and hands.
There were 3 blasts that took place one after the other at Kalamassery's Zamra International Convention Center. According to eyewitnesses, the first one took place at 9:38 a.m. right at the center of the hall when around 2,500 people had gathered and were intently praying with their eyes closed. The other two were less intense and took off at the doors.
About 9:40, there was a blast. And after that, all people, about 2,300, more than 2,300 people were there. I helped so many people to make.
Kerala CM Pinarayi Vijayan has declared that it was one man, Dominic Martin, a disgruntled member of the group who carried out the attack all by himself. Vijayan has threatened legal action after Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar had alleged that the state government was not taking stern action against communal elements.
If you continue to pander to those radical elements by allowing Hamas, if that organization's head is allowed to come to Kerala through video and address a group of people with his radical ideology, there is certainly something very wrong. Instead of helping the youth come into mainstream, you are instead throwing them again into the cesspool of radicalism by allowing them to engage with and allowing the Hamas to engage with these youth.
അന്വേഷണവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ മാർട്ടിൻ സമ്മതിച്ച കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ട്, അതിപ്പോൾ പുറത്തു വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇതിൽ മറ്റെന്തെങ്കിലും മാനമുണ്ടോ എന്ന കാര്യവും സ്വാഭാവികമായും അന്വേഷണ ഏജൻസി പരിശോധിക്കും.
When an IED can find its way into the center, security lapses need to be looked into. When innocent lives are being played with, political bickering takes center stage. With camera person Kumar, Pratibha Raman in Kochi for NDTV.
But who is this person, Dominic Martin? Was it a lone wolf attack or was there a larger conspiracy behind this? Let's take a look and try and understand about this perpetrator.
The man who confessed to carrying out the blasts in Kochi is Dominic Martin, who surrendered to the police after releasing a confession video.
One person has surrendered in Kodagara police station in Thrissur rural in the morning, claiming that he has done it. His name is Dominic Martin, and he claims that he belongs to the same group of Sabha. We are verifying it.
But who exactly is Dominic Martin and how did he learn to make the explosives? 48-year-old Dominic Martin, before surrender, posted a video on social media, claiming association with Jehovah's Witnesses for the past 16 years. He claims to have differences with the sect. He planted explosives as he said he found the teachings of the group seditious. He says the ideology of the sect is dangerous for the nation and had to be put to an end. He had been living on rent in suburban Kochi for the past 5 years. He claims he learned to make the bomb from the internet. Martin even released a video expressing his disgruntlement with the sect and why he carried out the blast. The man who owned the house that Dominic rented says he had little suspicion that his tenant would commit such an act.
പുള്ളിയുടെ വൈഫ് വന്ന് നമ്മളോട് ഇങ്ങനെ ലൈവ് വിട്ട കാര്യമാണ് നമ്മളത് പറഞ്ഞത്. ഇങ്ങനെ പുള്ളി ഫേസ്ബുക്കിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പോഴാണ് നമ്മളിത് അറിയണത്, ഈ ഇങ്ങനെ സംഭവിച്ചേക്കണത്. അപ്പോഴാണ് നമ്മൾ തന്നെ അറിയണത്. നമുക്ക് തന്നെ ഷോക്കായി പോയി.
According to police sources, Dominic Martin used an IED device to set fire to the bomb. We also hear that the NSG team recovered the remains of the circuit from the blast site. Martin has confessed to the police, claiming that he deliberately wanted to set fire to the place with the intention of killing the participants of the Jehovah's Witnesses convention. He is believed to have spent around 3,000 rupees to make the bomb and learnt how to make the electric detonator by watching YouTube videos. The police are trying to piece together the evidence based on his statement, and if this is corroborated, then it throws light on how easy it is to set a place on fire. With camera person Kumar, Pratibha Raman in Kochi for NDTV.
Moving on to some business news now. The Bengal government has to pay Tata Motors, and wait for it, a massive sum of 766 crore rupees plus 11% interest. And this is for the compensation of the losses that Tata Motors had incurred on its capital investment. Now, this is regarding the Singur nano plant case, which though completely turned around Mamata Banerjee's political career, but it had devastating effect on the economy of West Bengal and incurred huge losses as far as the Tata Motors is concerned. The arbitral tribunal has given this decision. Let me very quickly go across to my colleague Sakshi for more on this.
Absolutely, Ankit. Well, a significant development. Tata Motors, in an exchange filing, has said an arbitration panel has ruled in its favour to recover rupees 766 crores with interest from the West Bengal Industrial Development Corporation in the Singur Nano project. Now, this case, remember, is important, and it is also important to note here that as per the filing, Tata Motors has won the arbitration award of 766 crores plus interest. Now, the interest is at 11% per annum from September 1st, 2016. And this is really important to note, till the actual recovery. So, it's right till there. Remember, this decision has been taken to compensate, of course, for the company's investments in the now scrapped Singur plant, as you mentioned. And Tata Motors was building this plant to manufacture the ambitious Tata Nano. The company will also recover 1 crore towards the cost of proceedings. So, really a huge history there and a big win for Tata Motors as per this exchange filing.
Absolutely, and this will set a precedent as far as the industry in India is concerned. Sakshi, thank you for joining us with all those details. Moving on now to Uttar Pradesh, where a former Bharatiya Janata Party MP lost his son in the biggest government hospital in Lucknow. That was due to lack of beds. The grieving father sat on a protest in the emergency ward of the hospital with his son's dead body. My colleague Tanish Punjabi reports on this apathy.
A former member of parliament from Uttar Pradesh's Banda district sat on this protest right outside the emergency ward of Lucknow's biggest government hospital, the SGPGI. 41-year-old Prakash Mishra, the son of ex-BJP MP Bhairav Mishra, was suffering from a kidney ailment. At around 11 p.m., Bhairav Mishra took his son to the emergency ward of the SGPGI. According to the former MP, there was no bed available and the emergency medical officer did nothing to help. His son passed away shortly. Bhairav Mishra sat on a protest right outside the emergency ward with his son's body.
बेटा तो बच्चे गया है लेकिन आगे इनकी कान खड़े हो जाएंगे और भविष्य में और लोगों को जिस चीजों में बैठ गया तो रात में पीछे कोई आता था सबका ट्रीटमेंट शुरू रहता था 20-25 लोगों का इलाज हुआ मेरे बैठने पे वहाँ जब मैं धरने में बैठा था तो सभी शिकायत कर रहे थे कि नहीं इसका रूट व्यवहार है बहुत खराब व्यवहार है इस व्यक्ति का तो मैंने फिर वहाँ डायरेक्टर से भी कहा था तो डायरेक्टर मेरे सामने तो ये उसने ऑर्डर कर दिया था कि इसको मेरे जो अधिकार हुए मैं जांच कर रहा हूँ इनको मैं तुरंत हटा देता हूँ पूरे स्टाफ को यहाँ से।
और डॉक्टर जो वहाँ पर ड्यूटी पे थे उनसे भी बात हुई तो डॉक्टर ने ये कहा कि हमारे पास बेड नहीं है आईसीयू का केस लगता है तो आईसीयू में लेके जाइए आईसीयू का हम अरेंज करते हैं। अब पता नहीं वो क्या अरेंज कर रहे थे नहीं कर रहे थे ये तो कहना बड़ा मुश्किल है इस समय लेकिन इस बीच में जो है सीरियस तो थे ही लेकिन उनकी डेथ हो गई।
डॉक्टर पे आरोप लगा करके समस्या का समाधान नहीं हो सकता। इसका कोई जिम्मेदार अगर है तो मुख्यमंत्री खुद जिम्मेदार हैं। आखिरकार उन्होंने पर्याप्त बजट क्यों नहीं दिया अस्पताल को?
ये दुखद घटना है मैंने बताया और हम उसमें दुख जाहिर करने के लिए आए मामले की जांच कराएंगे जिन लोगों ने लापरवाही की है कार्रवाई करेंगे।
A former BJP MP sat on a protest. A high-level committee was formed. Opposition raised its voice and the government also took action. But the question here lies, what would have happened if there was a common man instead of a former BJP MP? With Salahuddin in Banda, Rajesh Gupta in Lucknow, Tanish Punjabi for NDTV.
Meanwhile, Delhi residents continue to breathe poison as the city saw another spike in the poor air quality. Their AQI levels have gone up again. Now, this is just after Punjab reported over 1,000 farm fires in a single day.
Delhi is back to breathing poison. This time much ahead of the usual pollution peak closer to Diwali. The capital's air quality has spiked to very poor levels, which experts describe as a public health emergency. The air quality panel's emergency measures have failed to purify the air.
ग्रैब 4 एक बहुत एक्सट्रीम स्टेप है 450 जो है जिसको हम इमरजेंसी की एक सिचुएशन कहते हैं तो प्रयासों से ये जरूर संभव हो पाया है कि 450 वाली स्टेज पिछले साल नहीं आई, जो कि पिछले सालों में कभी होती थी, और जिसमें बहुत एक सीवियर या एक कह लीजिए कि एक बहुत डिफिकल्ट तरह के जो रिस्ट्रिक्शंस हैं, जैसे जिसमें मतलब ट्रकों की एंट्री बैन होनी, बसों का आना बंद होना, उस तरह से बहुत सारे स्कूल्स बंद हो जाने, तो वो सिचुएशंस में पिछले साल काफी कमी आई है। स्टेज 4 हमें लगाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी। तो
Capital skies turning smoky as Punjab fields begin to turn black. In just 24 hours, there has been an over 700% increase in instances of stubble burning in Punjab.
Here's an image from a few days back on the 25th. The red dots are areas where there are farm fires. Let's move on. Let's take a look at the farm fire situation on the 26th on this particular day. As you can see, clustering of red dots indicating many more fires. On the 27th, and this is interesting, there are a significant number of fires, as you can see, lower than the previous day. But on the 28th, this is day before yesterday, there is in fact a sharp decrease. You can see that there are not as many red dots over there. But now look at the situation yesterday. And this is a crisis. As many as 1,068 fires being recorded and visible here, farm fires across large parts of the state.
Delhi's right to healthy air violated yet again.
The AQI levels deteriorate or AQI levels rise, then they start experiencing these problems very often. And most of the patients these days are coming with complaints of watering from the eyes, nasal congestion, cold, cough.
So far, there appears to be no respite from Delhi's pollution emergency. Bureau Report, NDTV.